little ahead there. I missed it, didn't sink it. It's timing. I'm back because I couldn't end my set like that, the last one, so I only got 23 minutes this time, so I got to move fast. And what I want to cover here, by the way, I still have that old antique camera I'm using mainly because of this. I went out to look for a new camera quite a long time ago. I looked at several, but none of them had a remote control. You can imagine paying $700 for no remote control. So this is why, I mean, that means I got to walk onto the set and walk back off the set to shut the camera down. I know I heard there's remote controls if the camera is equipped, has a certain sensor that you can buy. They're quite expensive and so forth. That's the reason. And I think it's more about the information I'm providing and my shows and my CFL Reds Arm Bowl than I think, another 200 or 300, as far as the definition of the camera, the resolution of the camera, to go from, it's under 500, 430 to go to 1080, that's more than double. So yes, I would have a lot sharper picture, and my face would be all netting and all broke up like it is, like you see. And now, I mean, we're at the end of the day here in Halifax. It's 20 to 5 because we had to turn the clocks back. So very low lighting again. But I'm going to do the session. I'm going to get into it now, and I want to make a few corrections from my last several actually. Apologize for when I was drumming. I was a drummer. I played in the three-piece band, like a Led Zeppelin setup. Drummer, bass guitar, lead guitar, and lead singer. We used to do Led Zeppelin. We used to do Joe Cocker, the Guess Who, and many others. Axe cover stuff. We were quite popular. And I had a Ludwig set of drums, a double set, double bass, everything. And yes, I could do paradiddles and press rolls, even though I was a rock drummer, because I took some lessons, and shuffle beats and rudiments and so forth, and so forth. And I still play some. I had sort of a style like Gary Peterson, the Guess Who. He was my idol drummer, and the Chicago drummer I like too. There's sort of that rock, jazz, rock style. That was what I used, but the music we played with the three-piece, I could, I like to use that style with rock and roll style, doing a lot of doubles and so forth. But anyway, doubles on the bass drum too. But I don't want to talk about me and me as a drummer when I was younger in a rock band. I want to talk about my CFL Reds Arm Bowl. I want to talk about the Grey Cup coming up and the playoffs coming up, okay, and a few other things that I want to talk to as well. So yeah, I used to stick my tongue out, so don't think I'm like something wrong with it or something, because I'm not even conscious of it, because my sister used to laugh at me, used to play, and because I used to put so much into it, and I used to stick my tongue out sometimes to go to my cheeks. I didn't even know I was doing it, and I still do it because I guess it's programmed in my brain now because I used to do it. So it says, okay, at the end, okay, my roll or something, or triplet or double or something, stick your tongue out before you end a song. We used to have a lot of good endings anyway. So no, anyway, it was just a habit. I still have it, even when I'm retired, and I'm still playing drums, okay. And I always stumbled over certain words. Everybody does. Infrastructure. I had a hard time with that, as you notice on my sets. I don't use that word hardly at all. I certainly know what it means in relation to the little rinky-dinky, bare bone, laughable community stadium they want to build here. And that brings me to something I wanted to talk about. And by the way, it's Sean Cleary, not Sean Leary, the counselor's name. And of course, Outhead. I call him Out Idiot. Okay? Don't want to talk about them right now, but there was something that was interesting that that came up in Let's Talk CFL Schooners site, and someone said, I hope this goes to the counselors. I wanted to show you. This is the Calgary Stampeder. It's 107th Grey Cup Stampede Park Grey Cup Festival. I mean, their whole overview setup downtown in Calgary. It's pretty amazing. And like they said, here it is here.
For 107 years, it has been Canada's greatest game. But in 1948, a passionate group of Calgarians boarded a train to Toronto to see their beloved Stampeders win their very first Grey Cup, and in the process, forever changed the festivities. Complete with a dozen horses and a chuck wagon, the more than 250 Western-dressed fans danced, paraded, celebrated, and served up pancakes, turning the Grey Cup into Canada's greatest party, now officially known as the Grey Cup Festival. And this year, we're taking the tradition that was started by Calgarians to a whole new level. Hosted at the world-famous Stampede Park, the 2019 Grey Cup Festival, presented by Shaw, runs Wednesday night through Saturday night, and will be the biggest yet. The Nissan Titan Street Festival will be over 140,000 square feet of free outdoor fun that includes daily pancake breakfasts, CN nightly fireworks, live music at the TD Outdoor Stage, giant projection on the Atco Stratosphere, 3 lanes of high-speed sliding down the Jiffy Lube tube slide, and so much more. Looking to warm up a bit? Well, we're taking over the entire BMO Center. The first 50,000 square feet will be home to the indoor family zone, where the CFL's youngest fans can enjoy hours of fun. The rest of Calgary's largest convention center will be filled with team parties. Every single CFL team will be there, and the Atlantic Schooners too, in the Energy Avenue Team Party Zone. The Big 4 Roadhouse will host a full-blown food court on the lower level. And upstairs, we'll have the Tim Hortons Kickoff Party, Athletes in Action Breakfast, CFL Legends Luncheon, and the SiriusXM Saturday Night Concert, featuring Our Lady Peace. The Scotiabank Saddle Dome is in the mix too, and will roll out the red carpet for the Shaw CFL Awards, Alberta Blue Cross Grey Cup Gala, and Cheer Extravaganza. Oh, and we almost forgot about the Stampede Corral, home to the first ever Canada's Energy Citizens Grey Cup Rodeo. Our wonderful partners at the City of Calgary will be extending the free fare zone from downtown to include Victoria Park Stampede, as well as increasing the operating hours of C trains on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night to ensure that our guests at the Grey Cup Festival have easy access to the festival site and a safe ride home. All that, and we haven't even talked about what we've got planned for McMahon Stadium yet. We start with a tent on the east parking lot that is so big, if you dropped it on a CFL field, it would span goal line to goal line. We're calling that giant tent Fusion, and it'll bring together music and Grey Cup. On Friday and Saturday night, Fusion will host world-class concert events, and on Grey Cup Sunday, it will turn into Calgary's biggest sports bar, including a post-game concert with Alberta's own Brett Kissel. If you prefer an open-air pre-game party, we'll have that covered too. Right next door to Fusion will be our all-ages outdoor tailgate featuring interactive games, prize giveaways, live entertainment, and more. For the stadium itself, we're temporarily expanding the concourse by over 60,000 square feet. That will allow us to add more than 200 portable washrooms and numerous food, beverage, and merchandise locations. We've also added an expansive suite structure in the north end zone, all in an effort to ensure your Grey Cup game day experience is a great one. The 2019 Grey Cup Festival, presented by Shaw, runs November 20th through 24th, culminating in the 107th Grey Cup at McMahon Stadium, with the reigning CMA and ACMA Entertainer of the Year, country music superstar Keith Urban, performing in the Freedom Mobile Halftime Show. Welcome to Calgary. Experience the energy.
Pretty cool, right? Here it is. Experiencing it. I'm going to be there with my son. I can't wait. But the reason I showed that is because on the Let's Talk CFL Schooner site, they said someone should send that to the mayor and the councils. But here's the problem. That's the problem. Like I said in my last session, they had, from the beginning, the get-go, they had no intention supporting the CFL or a Grey Cup game in Halifax. And if they figured that, well, they can get their community, little rinky-dinky, embarrassing little bare-bone community stadium out of it, that the Mayor Savage wants too, by the way, not just Mason, some of the other clowns down there. That's why I think they allowed this to go on. I mean, but as far as the CFL team and a Grey Cup game in Halifax, they lured in the CFL and they lured in the LeBlanc Group because they have no intentions. And by the way, do you know that a makeshift stadium, okay, like in the end zone for the Grey Cup, costs to put it up like $100 a seat? That's why they don't do it anymore. I mean, they did it in Ottawa, but they won't do it in Calgary. Because it wasn't feasible, it wasn't cost efficient. So they put, like, I think suites, it looks like over 40 or more suites there, end zone. And I think on the other side, where their new fancy, they got a beautiful new high-def video screen and everything. I think that's what the stage will be for Keith Urban. I mean, something like they did in Toronto. But see what they're doing downtown. I mean, it's unbelievable. So it's going to be one of the best Grey Cups ever in Calgary. But 60,000 added square feet to the concourse, right? This is why it's so important, by the way. They get almost 37,000 seats in the stadium itself. And they want to put like 22 or 23,000 permanent seats. No! 12,000, sorry, 500 permanent seats, because the other side of this Mickey Mouse little community stadium that they want to build here in their city, basically the councillors and the Mayor Savage, that's what they want. There'll only be 12,000 permanent seats, and the other side, it's a tacked up little Mickey Mouse little structure, you know, something like the Wanderers grounds. That when I sat there, I thought the thing was going to fall down on the top. It's swaying, the benches were moving, everything. It's brutal. It's unsafe, and that's not a stadium. That's like a makeshift little tacked up thing with outhouses that could blow down. Very dangerous, man. That's not a stadium. That's a joke. That's a joke. Because the problem is they don't want to spend any more money than 90 million or less. Probably 75. That's what 70 million. That's what the one for FIFA was going to be. 12,000 permanent seat stadium. That's all. Like, listen, for 130 to 140 million, okay, you could build a real CFL model stadium. You could have 25 to 27,000 permanent seats, which should be the minimum because how are you going to stage a Grey Cup game? You need 37 to 40,000 seats, okay? So you're not going to have permanent seats, so what are you going to do? And they're a hard sell in the end zone. Like, they're a hard sell to sell benches at the end zone for $200 or more. Like, this is bad. The city is a joke. They should be building a $200 million stadium. 33,000, a minimum of 30,000 permanent seats with all the amenities, skyboxes, you know, everything, club seats, restaurants, a Schooners store, all the amenities that they need, permanent washrooms, open concourses, 2 upper decks, everything, the whole ball of wax. If they want to be a player, if they were ever going to host a Grey Cup game. So that whole thing in the proposal about a Grey Cup game being here within the next 10 years is a joke. And I don't know how, like I said, the CFL could ever even approve a CFL franchise for Halifax with this Mickey Mouse stadium, rinky-dinky little embarrassing community, bare-bone community stadium. Mayor Savage, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're ignorant, you're like arrogant, you're egotistical, you bunch of pompous, all the councillors, the Mayor Savage is a bunch of pompous bullies, dummies, ignorant. Mayor and councillors of Halifax, you're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment. There wouldn't be any city councillors in Canada that would ever, all of them, and they do now, all the countless cities, they have a stadium they can host a Grey Cup game in. Hamilton's going to get one with their new stadium. Every city has a build a stadium they can host a Grey Cup game in. Halifax, you don't want the CFL. You don't want a Grey Cup game. You want your little Mickey Mouse, rinky-dinky little embarrassing little bare bone, oh my God, laughable little community stadium. Well, build it yourself. And LeBlanc Group, leave. Get out of town, I would, and go to Quebec City and get it done. Because these guys are a bunch of, they're losers. They're small town, small-minded, like I said, backward bunch of dummies. No sayers, no vision, no sayer. Mayor Savage, that's what he is, and that's what the councils are. But I'm getting off that. We'll go on to something else because I only got a few minutes. Okay, so that's it for that. I want to talk about my Facebook page. that I'm gonna be also before I talk about my Facebook page, the banner. I'm gonna do a banner. We're gonna have a banner done. I was talking to my son last night. We're gonna have a banner. But I can talk about my Facebook page first before I talk about my banner, my brochure. Okay, what else I want to talk about? That's yeah, talk about what I said in one of my sessions too. Before I get into this, about you know, the CFL is going to be fine defending the CFL from these bullies, Halifax City Council bullies and the Mayor Savage, the ringleader bully, and dummies. That, yeah, the CFL is going to be fine, but only if they make necessary changes. We need a new commissioner that's not political. They need to get rid of the one-year contracts. They got to eliminate the Canadian starter ratio, and they need to bring in my CFL Red Zone rule. Okay, and they have to do much better branding and marketing, and dress up. Cosmetics is so important to have our stadiums look like the NFL stadiums, with logos, team logos at center, the end zones jazzed up with logos and so forth. So, and there's more necessary changes too that I think I covered in some of my other sessions too. That's got to be done, by the way. And they got to lock out. They got to break the Canadian Players Association, and they have to break them and lock them out. And in order to do this, they got to do that. Okay, because they can't have the structure they have now, because, by the way, the CFL won't be fine, they'll be going down. Okay, so I want to get my playbook here on my Facebook, sorry. I said BlackBerry Playbook. I have something different here, but anyway, go on my Facebook page, okay, alright, and you'll see a lot of goodies. Like, you'll see my new banner with my two new hats, my new Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule hats. It looks like that, okay, and the selling pitch, okay. So football fans, if you want no more distasteful two-down football stops in the red zone, no more boring, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals in the red zone, chant loud in the red zone, we want Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule. The field diagram, that's a smaller version of it. There's some photos. My full presentation that I made to the commissioner in the CFL in 2018. The full presentation. Okay, there's the CFL Red Zone Rule presentation, layout agenda, and all 10 pages of the full presentation. There it is, right on my Facebook page. We put it there, put screenshots, put it up. There's my new CFL Red Zone Rule hat that you see here. That's a Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule hat, and not proposed. A fair amount of that you can click on my YouTube sessions here, part 1, part 2, part 3. Okay, part 1 is my intro, part 2 is the presentation I made to the commissioner of the CFL, and part 3 would be the conclusion and the outcome of that. So there's quite a few. There's a toast of Atlantic Schooners shot right there. Okay, if you can get it there, it's a nice shot. Okay, I mentioned Atlantic Schooners. There's also a shot of me on my set doing my long version of my Spyder, Here Comes Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule song, and there's a link there to go on the video, okay, to see me playing it. Okay, more YouTube session links. Okay, Spyder's proposed new CFL Red Zone Rule hat, front and center in the red zone at a CFL game, Stampeder game. Okay, another one with my son with Bo Levi Mitchell sweater on, my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule hat turned around, the Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule hat in full force, live at a CFL game. This one was, I meant to say, in the red zone. Okay, front and center in the red zone, because he took a shot, because he has seats in the red zone. Okay, more photos. My cover, my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule banner. Okay, my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule diagram. Okay, that I presented to the commissioner and the CFL when I did my Spyder CFL Red Zone Rule presentation. There it is. I put that up on the monitor too, but there it is. So that's good, eh? So, and you go down, there's Steve Armitage, okay? And on my Facebook page, okay? Steve Armitage. Meeting with Steve Armitage, okay? Alright, there's the shot. I hope you can see it. I'm getting some, I'm not getting the right light here, I don't think. I'm getting some bad lighting here. I don't know if you can see it over here. Too bad. Oh boy, it's not happening. That's too bad. I don't know if it happened. So you didn't see any of that. Sorry, any of my what's on my Facebook page. But it says meeting with Steve Armitage on my Spyder CFL Red Zone rule. On my Spyder CFL Red Zone rule, following my presentation I made to the CFL Commissioner. Okay, so and there's my first. Well, but you see the monitor. That's there. My Spyder CFL Red Zone short version, Spyder CFL Red Zone rule short version of my song. Spyder, here comes Spyder CFL Red Zone rule. And my 10 super features and benefits of my Spyder CFL Red Zone rule are on here, and more goodies. So isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? That's pretty cool, eh? So I want to just, as I'm trying to go to my email to show you the flyer I'm going to put up before I sign off here. And I'm probably not going to be able to do that. Okay, don't have time to do that, but I have a flyer I'm going to take off my Facebook page for my flyer. Okay, and I'm going to have a banner. Okay, and by the way, the playoffs are set to next week. It's Winnipeg and Calgary. Saskatchewan won first, and it's okay, Montreal and Hamilton. Okay, in the semifinals. Okay, I just wanted to, in summary of my nutshell, my CFL Red Zone rule, so you fully understand. I don't have 2 minutes or less. Okay, my CFL Red Zone rule is enforcement rule. Okay, and if you need third down in the red zone, okay. You have to play exciting CFL 3-down football to score a touchdown in the red zone, which every CFL fan or football fan in Canada would rather see than an easy chip shot field goal and the result of another boring second down stop, because they don't go for it in the 5, the 4, the 3, or the 2, only in the 1 yard line. They play exciting 3-down football in the red zone in the CFL. They don't use the third down other than on the 1 yard line. So it's an enforcement rule. So if they're stopped on the third down and don't score a touchdown in the red zone, they get to kick my Spyder CFL Red Zone kick from the 35. If they maintain possession of the ball and aren't forced outside the red zone. But if they're forced outside the red zone on third down, okay, they don't get to kick my Spyder CFL Red Zone rule kick. Okay? So, I mean, I'm going to do a full presentation for coming up, my second special edition for the caretaker Bob Young. I'm going to go over my rules, you know, in more detail, and stats and numbers in more detail, and do the obstacle revision part of my rule too as well. And that's coming up my next session. So we're going to see you. I'm going to sign off here. Okay, it's perfect timing. I just wanted to summarize my CFL Red Zone rule. And okay, so we'll see you next session. Take care. All the best, Spyder. And then I'm going to do a session on the Grey Cup, and then I'm going to close for the winter, and I'll be back in the spring. Okay, take care. Signing off. Spyder, here comes Spyder, CFL Red Zone rule.